They just want better energy, alleviate symptoms or correct symptoms. Because what works for one person may not work for another, I look at genetics, what your body is made up of. And I know some of y'all are like this. Oh, shoot, that gut's starting to talk. It's like, ooh, run to the bathroom, and you're in there for a while. Hanging on to the bathroom sink, like, whew, and you sweating. Because you know you done ate something that your body does not like. Greetings, fellow survivors, thrivers, and healers. I am Natasha, founder of Thrivers Inspire Healing, and I hope you all are having a great day. So today's topic, as you can see, is about choosing the best eating regimen for ourselves. Now, let's take a trip to memory lane, shall we? So many of us have experienced this where there's a specific relative's house that we love to go to because they just make those dishes, that food, those meals that just taste good to the point where you want to have 2 or 3 plates and then have another plate to go, right? And, you know, even if you haven't had this memory, perhaps you've seen the movie Soul Food. And Soul Food is where Big Mama comes and she's serving the entire family Sunday dinners every Sunday. The whole family comes over and they're just eating, and she's serving it with a big smile because she's like how much she loves her family and she just wants them to feel good. And the family smiles back, thanking Big Mama for the food, and you know, they're just having a good old time. And in some parts, of course, they spilling tea, but there's another underlying thing going on in this movie that some may or may not have spoken about. And that is what's going on with Big Mama. Behind that smile, her body wasn't smiling at all. Her body wasn't happy at all. And she ended up in the hospital. And I hope y'all already watched this movie because it's been out in 97. So I hope I'm not spoiling nothing. If I am, please mute for like 20 seconds. So Big Mama goes and she had to go to the hospital, and it turns out that she had issues with her circulation. Her arteries were getting clogged up, and eventually the doctor told her that she had to amputate her leg. And the family's so sad and whatever, and the next thing she suffers a stroke. And it was equally devastating, if not more, because she ended up in a coma, and the family was just very sad, and eventually Big Mama passed away. And, you know, the family is distraught and all, what happened? What happened? Since the family wanted to feel good again, they decided to continue the Sunday dinner, right? And the issue with that was that nobody really stopped to think to say, hey, was it the food that Big Mama was eating? Despite eating all this different food and having different food available, there was still some sort of deficiency where she was not getting enough nutrients for one, and or eating too much of something that was adverse to her. And this is an issue even in the US, despite all the food that's available to us. We have 70% of the US population is deficient in magnesium, for example, right? And you're thinking, well, what's the deal with magnesium? Magnesium is responsible for over 300 processes in the body. So when there's a deficiency in magnesium, you can suffer things such as muscle cramping, right? Heart issues, and even personality changes. And it's like, hold up. So if there's a deficiency in one area, where are the other deficiencies? And when there is a deficiency, it throws the body's homeostasis or the balance off, because it's not getting what it desires. When you have these hunger pains, right, and you want to go to the fridge and run to get something, or if you're even having certain cravings, there is a deficiency. There's something that your body needs in order for it to work at its best. So this is where I talk about the 7 different ways that I look at and that I have noticed other individuals look at in order to determine what is the best way for themselves and for myself, of course, to eat. So one of the first things I look at is goals. What is the goal or goals that you're looking at? So one of the goals that I've seen with people overall is they just want better energy. They want to be able to get up and go and eat breakfast and have the energy to do everything that they want to do throughout the day and get everything correct and right? Another goal is weight loss. So the individual may initially say, hey, listen, maybe I got to reduce portions. Or maybe they're like, shoot, I've been eating too many potato chips. I got to find a healthier snack for myself. Let's say some fruits or maybe even certain vegetables, and have those for snack. Some people like to have veggies and dip or something of that nature. So, that's another goal. A third goal is weight gain. And some people are like, girl, bye, like weight gain for what? Well, there's been individuals like me, right? For example, weight gain was something that is one of my goals, where when I was diagnosed with lupus and then the end-stage renal disease, I went from 115 pounds down to 95 pounds, right? 115, I was already slim and fit, athletic style. And then it's like, oh no. So I have to be mindful, like, okay, what is it that I want to eat? What's going to help me to gain weight? What's going to help me to make sure that not only am I getting enough energy through my food, but the nutrition as well. And, to put on the weight in a healthy manner, not just going out and eating all the junk food because, it's just not, it's counterintuitive to do that. So that's a third goal. The fourth goal is if you're dealing with a certain health issue, right, and you want to alleviate symptoms or correct symptoms or whatever the case is, right? And, for example, my doctor advised for me and also certain nutritionists that I'm dealing with advised for me with a kidney issue to reduce phosphorus intake, potassium intake, and sodium. So those big 3, right, is something that I have to keep in mind with every single meal that I consume. So for me, it's like, okay, there's maybe 2 or 3 goals, right? To just have that overall energy, feeling healthy, to be able to gain weight while being mindful of eating too much of something that could cause an adverse reaction, right? So that's point number 1. Point number 2, what is the type of food that's available to me, right? Or to you, to anyone, right? So some individuals have the access to going to a farmer's market, getting fresh organic foods, or, being able to have a different selection. So you have veggies, you have fruits, you have meats, you have fish, you have this and that. So that's the second point. Third point, the type of eating regimen or diet that you want to do. So for example, there is the vegan, right? There's so many different out there, but vegan is one of them, right? There's vegan, or what some people would like to call plant-based, where it's eating fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, and that, the different combos considering that. There's so many different flavorful dishes that I have learned, even from my friends, take on this sort of eating regimen that allows them to get the nutrients that they need, as well as the creativity and just making it taste good. Then there's the vegetarian, same thing, except that they also take on animal byproducts such as milk, cheese, and eggs. So they're eating the veggies, the fruits, the nuts, the seeds, rice, whatever the case is, as the animal product, the animal byproduct. And then there is the omnivore, the one who is eating the fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, as well as the meats, the fish, the beef, the chicken, turkey, and also having the animal byproduct, the eggs, the cheese, whatever. Basically, the omnivore has all of these different things available to them, right? So these different food regimens, looking at how to get the best nutrients, the most amount of nutrients that is part of the recommended daily allowance, right? That is most convenient for your schedule, and so on and so forth. So that's another thing that individuals look at, of course. And then the fourth thing is detoxing. Now, not many people are aware of detoxing. Many are. For example, for myself, I didn't know nothing about no detoxing growing up, okay? It was just you eat and you make sure you eat every day. That's it, right? There was no, for example, fasting, right? Some people do a dry fast, nothing, no water, nothing. Then some people do water. Some people do water and lemon. Some people take certain herbal combinations that allows them to cleanse the body. Of course, with the whole detoxing and cleansing, some individuals say, hey, this is another way. It gives my body a break to break down any excess food or anything that may be kind of lingering in there, or even maybe certain chemicals that may be present in food, whatever the case is, right? So that's another thing. The fifth point that I look at is, and some people may say this may go under diet. However, because what works for one person may not work for another, I look at genetics, what your body is made up of. So, for example, blood type. We're all different, right? Not everybody has the same blood type. So, for example, the O blood type is, according to what this doctor says, is about being able to eat certain foods like the meats, certain types of veggies, some nuts, certain types of nuts, certain types of seeds, and, but avoiding like dairy, or if you're having dairy, not too much, right? Then there's the A blood type, which according to this research is mostly fruits and veggies, but with some lean meats, okay? So having the fish a couple times a week, or some chicken or turkey, right? And then we have the B type. So the B for balance is what they say. And there's a little bit of this, a certain type of meats, but not these type, a certain type of dairy, but not this other type, and even further with AB would be a certain conglomerate of that. Have you checked out the blood typing? Please let me know down below. So that's another one. The sixth point is food sensitivities. So there is this woman that I knew. She was in a family similar to Big Mama's family, right? With the similar types of food that Big Mama was eating, with the different types of meats. And this is something that their family ate basically every day for dinner, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is how they ate. The straight omnivore, just whatever you can find. This is what we're eating, right? And she noticed that she was getting breakouts. Like she was having some serious issues in the back of her neck every time she sweat. And it was like, what's going on here? So she went to the doctor doing tests. It's like, I really couldn't find out like what was wrong. So we sent you to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist is looking at the skin. It's like, okay, I'll prescribe you this. But what she had decided to do is she said, you know what, I'm going to try to change the way I eat. So instead of having like those steak dinners, her family's a typical steak and potatoes, instead of having those type of dinners, she said, I'm going to go more lean, have the chicken, the turkey, and, having some fish, as well as, more veggie. And so she did all that. And she started to notice that when she sweat, she didn't have those issues as much on the back of her neck. Actually, it ended up clearing up. So it turned out that she had more of an A A blood type. And her other family members, they were more old. So she ended up doing well after changing the way she ate. So that brings me to the food intolerances, right? Milk. And I know some of y'all are like this, right? That you may be in the mood for some ice cream. You're feeling good. It's like, yeah, I just want to treat myself today. And, you are keeping close watch for that bathroom, because after you done ate up that pint of ice cream, you feel, oh shoot, that gut starting to talk. It's like, ooh, excuse me, I got to go. You run to the bathroom and you're in there for a while. Some of you may be even hanging on to the bathroom sink, like, whew, and you sweating, because you done ate something that your body does not like. And it's trying to push it out as fast as possible. So that's another food intolerance issue that I know y'all be doing. Your body definitely wanted to get rid of all of that it's like, no, can't process. Another thing is allergies, of a more severe like food intolerance, right? Some individuals, they cannot handle nuts. They can't handle them. For example, in my case, and this happened to me one time, I decided to eat, for breakfast, I decided to have some eggs. So I'm eating the eggs, and all of a sudden, my throat on fire. I'm like, oh shoot, my throat on fire, my neck, my ears. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I know I didn't put that much spice in it. But, so I was like, I can't eat these eggs. Next thing I knew, I was throwing up. I was like, whoa, like what is going on here? So I was like, I think I'm allergic, but let me go make sure. So I went to the doctor and I told them what happened, and they referred me to the allergy doctor. And so she had out this big row of what these look like, plastic toothpicks or something. And she took out my arm and she marked on my arm different circles and allergies, possible allergies. And she would take these toothpicks, right? And she would dip them into the little allergen liquid and poke the part. So for example, if it was fish allergy or shellfish allergy, she would take that, dip it in the shellfish allergy, and put it on my arm where she circled shellfish. And so she did it for all of these. When she got to the egg, let me tell you something. I was supposed to wait for 5 minutes, but I already knew even before she finished and was ready to walk out the door, my arm was starting to itch. I was like, oh no. But it was confirmed that I did have a minor allergy to eggs at the time. And, so it was like, okay, can't eat eggs anymore. However, today I am no longer allergic to eggs, which is very interesting. So I talked to my doctor about that, and she's like, hey, sometimes our immune system changes, which brings me to my next point, is paying attention to our bodies. Our bodies do go through changes, and we got to know what's going on. So we may have been able to tolerate certain foods for a certain time, and then all of a sudden we may notice, oh, when I eat this food, my stomach hurts. When I eat this food, I'm just not feeling right. Some people have a more serious reaction. So pay attention to your body, okay? And that helps you to know, your body is always giving you that signal, not only the hunger signal, but the symptom signal, where it'll tell you, okay, you know what, girl, you shouldn't have eaten that. I'll be like, no, you need to eat this. Oh, did you listen to that craving? I know you craving this, but this is actually a sign of this mineral deficiency. And what you really need to do is get a healthier version where you can consume that, fulfill that craving in the root cause, not just, ooh, this tastes good. Because you can be craving potato chips, but it may not be the best thing for you. It could be a certain type of salt, and perhaps maybe you just need to eat some seafood or some seaweed or whatever the case is, that has a certain sodium, right, that you need, because you do need a certain amount. As I said, there's a recommended daily allowance. And also be sure to obviously check with your doctor to confirm, if you need to, the certain types of sensitivities or any allergies, okay? If you're dealing with certain illnesses, please do follow the directions of your doctor, follow the directions of your nutritionist or dietitian, because they will actually be able to help guide you in the direction that will allow you to choose the best eating regimen for yourself, okay? So I hope this information was helpful. Please do take the time to share it with someone who you think will be thankful that you have given them this information. Or maybe there was something that was like, oh, I didn't think of that. Or yeah, I was feeling that pain. Or I did notice that when I ate this food, I was feeling a little more sluggish. All right. So be sure to share that with them. Subscribe for future videos. I will be sharing more of my personal journey when it comes to certain things that I eat to help me do well, because I am doing much, much better than I used to. And of course, for these stories of other individuals who also have taken on certain eating regimens, certain exercise regimen, and have done certain things with their overall self-care. So with that being said, please do stay active in your self-care. All right, and until next time.